No success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. That's why Club Wealth was founded, to help driven, successful, and busy real estate agents like you double their business while building a strong, balanced home life. Join us each week as high-producing agents and team leaders share their stories and unpack the principles and systems they've used to double, triple, and even quadruple their business while enjoying greater quality of life. And now, here's the latest episode of Club Wealth TV.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Hellic here with Club Wealth Coaching and Consulting. And I got to tell you, I am so excited today to be here with my co-host, the ever wonderful CEO of Club Wealth Expansion Services, Mrs. Cherie Benjamin. And I say Mrs. because she is very married to a very large, bicep gentleman named Leonard. This guy is the man. Anyway, we love Cherie. She's a rock star real estate agent out of Atlanta, Georgia. And Cherie and her team will close close to 500 transactions this year. She is a rock star. Did 250 transactions with her team last year. And we just absolutely freaking love her. So that being said, as you can tell, we have some very special guests on the show today. And we're talking about specifically kids in the biz. We're talking about developing tomorrow's leaders today. So right now we've got 4 young people on the call with us. And I hate to use the word kids. I really don't look at these guys like kids. Even my two, the Madison and Austin, I don't look at them like kids either. I look at these youth as truly leaders in their own generation that will be leading all of us in years to come. And I'll give you an example. I'll use Austin as an example. So in sales, Austin is one of our sales guys at Club Wealth. He's been selling for us since he was 14 years old, and he is currently our number 1 hour-for-hour dollar-producing salesperson at Club Wealth by a wide margin. At 14 years old, the last time we ran his numbers, he was making $79 an hour on straight commission.
That's like heavyweight champion. That's what that is. That's like pound for pound, Austin.
Thank you.
Well, and it's the thing is, I got to say that it cracks me up because so many people don't realize that not only are our young people qualified, frankly, a lot of times they're more qualified than everybody else. And so I share this because I really want you guys to understand that our young people today, there's a lot of, people talk about the millennials, right? And, these millennials, they all just want to text on their phone, and they don't want to show up when they show up, and they don't want to work. And when they do work, it's halfway, and they're so lazy. And, I hear all these negative things about millennials. And then I look at these 4, and I think to myself, if millennials were half as good as these guys, they'd be freaking rock stars. So let's introduce each of you real quick. So we talked a little bit about Austin. Amber Santa Ana. I'm going to share what I know about Amber, which is very little, but Amber, I'm going to let you tell us what you do with your folks' business. But before you do, what I know about Amber, so one of our coaches, Coach Sarah Santa Ana, and her husband, Giovanni, are, of course, Club Wealth members, and Amber works with them in their business. Now, when I say works with them in their business, I think the first thing people think of is, what does she do? Stuff envelopes and send out newsletters and that sort of thing. Well, actually, and Amber, by the way, how old are you right now?
17.
17 years old. At 17 years old, correct me if I'm wrong, Amber, but isn't it true that you literally run your parents' property management company?
That's correct.
At 17 years old.
17.
Boom! Dude, how cool is that, Cherie?
Yes. Well, my 17-year-old sometimes is sitting around playing Fortnite.
That's Austin.
What are you doing?
Oh my God.
I can't believe I just did that on camera. Oh, well. That's all right. But seriously, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with Fortnite. But at the same time, running a property management company. Amber, tell us more about that.
Well, I do everything in the property management division. I coordinate all the tasks and collect and disperse payments. I do the property inspections, and we have properties all the way throughout the DMV. So DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So I do travel a lot, and I just do inspections on the property. And I also draft all the agreements.
Oh my gosh, I'm right. I'm posting in the group here. By the way,
you know what? If you ever feel the need to get out of the DMV, you have a job.
Absolutely. It's in Sumner, Washington, just south of Seattle. So come on over.
Amber, I used to live in the DMV. Don't tell your parents, although they're probably listening. I'll hire you. Let's negotiate.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome. Good for you. So how long did you start? And how long ago was it that you first started doing this?
Well, I've been working in the family business since I was about 12 years old. At first, I started off with the basic stuff. I helped out after school and I helped out during the summer. I did like stuffing envelopes and cleaning the office. I had some chores to do. I eventually took on the responsibility of maintaining our operations, property management, and escrow, bank accounts, and spreadsheets. So I fixed all of those. Then I didn't think that was enough for me and I wanted to learn more. So I decided to learn property management. And then I just told you all I do for that. So I still actually continue to work in property management, but I also started taking on marketing. So I also advertise all of our listings.
Dude, I freaking love you. You're awesome. Boom.
Where's my Amber? Where's my Amber?
You know what cracks me up? From now on, when I do interviews for administrative positions, I'm going to be like, all right, we're gonna measure you up against Amber. We're going to grade on a curve, see how you score. I feel sorry for everybody I interview from now on. That's all I got to say. That's awesome. Good for you, Amber. Way to go. So since you were 12 years old, that sounds great. So let's move on to, let's go to Grace Ray. So Grace is out of Kansas City. And in Kansas City, her dad is Tim Ray, who's also a Club Wealth coach. And Tim's a rock star. Tim's team will do just over 600 transactions this year. So we're very proud of Tim and all that he's accomplished. What's really cool is 2 years ago when Tim and I started working together, his best year ever was 111 transactions. And in 2 years, he's gone from 111 to 600 transactions. Pretty freaking impressive. Very excited for Tim and his team. Now, Grace, you are not only working for your dad, but you also are now one of our youth squad members. So for those that don't know, Club Wealth has a youth squad where we employ young people. And just like with Austin, we essentially pay a minimum wage plus commission when they're making calls to schedule strategy sessions for agents around the country to speak with one of our coaches. So Grace, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your experience. Actually, let me back up. In addition to all of that, Grace also about 6 months ago, Grace and I had a call. I said, we'd really like to create a charity. We'd like to create something called Club Wealth Cares. And Grace said, well, I'm really passionate about charities. I'd like to do something with that. And I said, well, that's good because I don't want to screw with it. Like, I don't have time for it. I don't have time to deal with this. So Grace, on her own, with no help from me or anybody else, literally just went out and figured out how to create a 501c3, got all of it ready to go, and just literally did it from start to finish. So Grace, super impressed with you. So tell us a little bit more about you and your background.
Well, my dad started taking me on listing appointments I guess when I was 4-ish, and I used to help, and I guess just kind of growing up in the business and going to his office and stuffing envelopes, I eventually decided I want to go into real estate. And now I'm one of the listing coordinators. So all those 600 transactions that come through, I have to put them in MLS, make sure they have a ProQuest number, get signs, flyers delivered, things like that.
I love it. That's awesome. So, all right. So right now you're working how many jobs? What all are you doing right now?
2 jobs.
You're working 2 jobs.
2 jobs.
Club Wealth and for dad, right?
Yep.
And how old?
16.
16 with 2 jobs. And we're still doing this.
Cherie's going to go back and whoop some butt at home. I can tell you.
Heck yeah. Hey, she started going to listing appointments at 4. Ace got to get on the ball. Got to get my 2-year-old up and running.
Oh my gosh. I feel so sorry for your boys right now. They're about to get a butt whooping tonight. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. So what is it? So let's back up. Anything else, Grace, on kind of what you're doing or what do you got coming up here in the next 6 months? What's happening for you?
In the next 6 months, I have to take the ACT. I mean, work, school, soccer.
Love
So
it.
essentially, you're doing what we talk about hiring out for someone else to do, because we get a lot of people. There's a ton of people in the business right now that we coach, that we don't coach, that are listening to this podcast or watching this on Facebook, who have children who want to have them a part of the team, want to have them a part of the business, want to make sure that we're steering our kids in the right direction with getting into this, because we've all seen how great real estate can do for us and the great things real estate can provide for us financially. And you've got a 16-year-old who's still studying for her ACT, handling a team of 600 listings. She's a part of the administrative staff of a team of 600 deals per year, handling their listing and marketing management, or the coordination that's there. So talk to me. You said that you are getting the property. So listing comes up, dad hands it over. What do you do from there?
From there, so we have a system that I implemented. It's called a yellow sheet.
That you implemented.
Dude,
yes.
I love that. Seriously, that's what Amber just did too, right? Like their parents didn't tell them, hey, go do this. They're like, no, dude, we need a system for this. And they figured it out. Good for you guys. Keep going.
So they hand me this yellow sheet. I send a welcome email and a handwritten note along with a listing agreement to the seller. And then from there, I get a ProQuest number. I make sure photos are ordered. I make the flyers, print off the flyers, and then we have a runner that takes the sign and the flyers to the properties, and I assign that into Trello, and then I have to make sure it's in MLS. And sometimes, do you guys know what Cascade is, the system?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so then I have to run through Cascade and make sure everything's in order there.
I freaking love this. This is so
I'm
awesome.
just sitting here listening to her going, okay, that's what mine does. Okay, that's what mine does. Okay, that's what mine does. Okay, wait a minute. Mine didn't do that yet.
Well, and here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so I'm watching all the people that are watching right now. We've got a ton of people watching. And for those of you that are watching this, if you have a team, you should be tagging everybody on your team in this. If you have kids, you should be tagging your kids in this. You should be tagging everyone you know that has kids in this. Why? Because they need to hear this, because they need to see that, look, being young does not have to be prohibitive, right? Mike Bernier's watching right now. He's like, what's up, Grace? So, but Coach Mike Bernier is a great example, right? Mike, you started at a young age, and a lot of us did. A lot of us, those of us that have been very successful in our lives, we did a lot of the things that you guys are doing when everybody else is playing video games and everybody else is out fishing in Austin and everybody else is, out doing whatever kids do. You guys were doing that, and you're doing this stuff as well. You're also choosing success while at the same time finding the ways to have fun and take time to be with your family and your friends and do the things that you enjoy. And so it's just it's amazing to me how great young people like you guys take the initiative to be successful no matter what it takes. Now, I want to move to Madison just real quick, and then we're going to get back to some more questions for each one of you. So no pressure, Madison, but there's 10,000 people watching right now.
Thanks, Dad.
So now, Madison, first and foremost, I want to start with what you do. So right now, what do you do for the company? And by the way, congratulations, Madison just took the ACT. And what was your score?
I got a 28, so I'll probably retake it, try to get a better score, but I'm still happy about the score I got.
I thought that was
I still want to improve.
Wow. Okay. So if somebody said, hey, Michael, you got a score that allows you to get into BYU, the last thing I'm going to say is I can't wait to go take the test again. Screw that. I'm done. I can get to the college I want to get. Cool. I don't need to take it again. But
I did that without studying for it, so I feel like if I work hard and study for it, I can get a better score. So.
Hey, guys, cover your ears. Madison it's the girl power. That's what it is. Us girls are so smart. Yeah. We don't have to study all the time. We're just so smart.
Exactly.
So Madison,
is that right, Austin?
So you and Austin, I know we're all going to be doing the dance now. You and Austin have been working for the company since you were very little, right? I mean, literally since you could freaking talk. Yeah. You've been sticking, envelopes and stuffing newsletters and all that kind of stuff. And I think all of you have kind of grown up that way, right? Where you've kind of all grown up knowing that, hey, work is just part of what we do. Now, we're not talking, sweatshops in the Philippines kind of work, right? Sorry, Aubrey. That was for Aubrey in our office. She loves it when we talk about her upbringing. I'm totally kidding, Aubrey. Anyway, that being said, you did grow up with a strong work ethic and parents that gave you the example that, hey, life is not free. It's not easy. So, Madison, first of all, tell us what you do for the company, and then I want to talk to everybody about something.
I do a bunch of random stuff. I'm technically the marketing assistant. I do anything from editing videos to updating like the member locator on clubwealth.com or anything marketing related. I basically get thrown a task and say, here, do it, complete it, and I do. Also, more for like the event side, I edit all the PowerPoints that we receive from our speakers and make sure that those get done. And I also have to work with my dad alongside him, creating any PowerPoints.
Did you have to or get
that
to?
he
I'm
has.
pretty sure you said get to.
I said get to. And yeah, so sometimes it's a lot of late nights in the office doing that, but it's fun. I enjoy it. And I also send out the welcome boxes for new members that we have coming in.
Yeah. So you're all over. You're doing a lot of stuff. And so here's the question I have for you, and we'll start with you, and then I want to hear from all of you. Did you start off with, hey, you get to some kind of advantage because you're my kid, so because you're my kid, you have a position that nobody else gets, or did you, how would you compare starting off in the business as my kid versus somebody else starting off with the team? Madison, you're first.
I feel like I was started on like a very like short leash, I would want to say. Basically, I wasn't given any like advantage or anything. I was basically like, here, you're under this person, listen to them. You don't get to like have any authority, which I mean, most people do, but I just feel like a lot of pressure is more put on me because I'm your daughter over the fact that I'm an employee.
So
I'm a team member. Sorry, not employee. I'm a team member.
That's exactly right. So how about you guys, Amber, Grace, Austin? Do you guys feel like when you started with the family business, or as you were given more responsibility in the family business, do you feel like that it was easier or harder for you than it would have been for somebody else just coming into the business from outside?
I think it's harder because you have to live up to the expectation, maybe. So you're expected to do better and you're expected to do great things. It's not that it's a problem to me because I want to do great things and I want to be great. So I love every opportunity that I'm given and that I earn.
I love it. That's awesome. Grace, how about you?
I definitely agree with Amber. Putting in the work, I guess that'd be the same for everybody, but you also have to live up to the expectation and the legacy your parents have set. So that can be a little more difficult, but I'm up for the challenge. So.
I love it. Austin, how about you?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely just because comes down, what I'm thinking is like the basics. It just comes down to like, I remember when you first interviewed me, I had my white shirt on. I made my interview and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I came in a short t-shirt and some shorts, like, what are you doing? You're not dressed professionally. And then you're just trying to teach me the basics and all that stuff. And I came in without socks on and you're like, put some like socks on and go get ready to get this interview. And it just comes down to the basics. And like, you just need to learn the basics. And then like, you're not just given this role. You have to actually earn it and progress as yourself.
Yeah, I do remember that moment. I remember, you had to do a resume, right? And you had, my insistence was, look, you're a young man. You want an interview, you show up in a freaking suit and tie. Like, I'm not interviewing you dressed like a slob. You want to work in our company, you're going to treat it like you go to any other company and get a job interview. And you're not getting any special advantage because you're my kid. If anything, I'm going to be harder on you than I would be on anybody else. If anything, I'm going to push you harder. I'm going to expect more out of you. And by the way, I'm going to expect it for freaking free half the time. Right? Come on, Sharon. Labor. Same way, right?
Yeah.
So, seriously, and by the way, why do you guys think we're this tough on you guys? Why do you feel it is that as parents, we're so very strict about the things that we have you doing in our businesses and about how hard we are on you and the expectations that we place on you?
Because we can do it.
You want to push us to succeed?
What else?
Amber, we can't hear you. You got to speak up, Amber.
Want what's best for us?
Yep.
Yeah. And I want you guys to understand that the biggest thing is that your parents truly do love you. And they always want to shield you from going down the wrong path. And these things that you're learning right now is what's setting you up. Austin, yes, you have to come to work. Look at you. You have on a tie right now. You're supposed to have on a tie. That's so that people, it's you showing respect to that person that's there, and they're going to take you serious. Okay. You guys already have it to where, because you're younger, people are going to think that you don't know what you know. So you're going to have to get over that obstacle. So these are the things that your parents are, all this discipline that your parents are putting into you right now, this is stuff that's going to carry you from years to come. Yes, Austin, you can still play Fortnite. I understand that. Girls still go out. You still have a life. You're still very beautiful, smart, young people. Young people. My son has a break this summer because of everything that's going on, but it was very similar. He knows that I will fire him instantly. He has one time to mess up. One time. And I mean, my parents told him he has one time. I told him he has one time. You've got one time to mess up, because in the real world, it's not 3 strikes and you're out. It's one time and you're out. It's one time and you're out. So you guys have to understand that very, very early on. But most of this is because your parents love you. We want the best for you. We see all of that that's in you. We even see the things that you don't quite know that you already have inside of you.
Well, and here's the thing. I agree 100%. We do love you, and we know because we've been there. And I know you guys, are probably thinking, oh, whatever. You've never had to go to I've gone through. Yeah, okay, whatever. We all thought that when we were that age too. But here's the reality. The reality is we know what comes next. We know what comes after college, after high school, after, when you're out on your own. And we want you to be well equipped for it because we love you. We don't want you to have to go through hardships. And so for me anyway, and Cherie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I probably speak for most parents in that we know that, look, after high school, after college, you're going to be on your own and you've got to support yourself. And we'd rather have you feel pressure and go through some struggles now than have to go through real struggles later when you're on your own and learn some really potentially life-altering decisions down the road. And so, the better we can prepare you now, the better chance we feel like you'll have of success going forward. But the reality is, and Cherie, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I wanted to know, what are they looking at doing? So, for us parents, we all want for you to say, oh, we want to be even better than what our parents were at this. We want to take over the family business. But Austin, Michael, let them talk on this. Austin,
I won't say a word.
Okay, no words.
No
even after this interview, you promise.
No judgment. You're right.
Austin.
If you guys say, if Austin says, Dad, I want to be a pro fisherman, well, great. Whatever you want to do. So whatever you guys decide you're going to do, seriously, what is it? What is your future going to hold for you guys?
Austin, what's yours?
All right. So my plan right now is just to go to BYU, Idaho or Utah. I haven't decided yet. Get my business degree. Then I'm gonna create an expansion team underneath you somewhere else in the country. And
I love this kid.
I'm definitely gonna. I don't know. I'm still deciding whether I want to stay in the business, like Club Wealth itself, or if I want to just continue into real estate. I know I'm gonna do some sort of sales. I want to be an entrepreneur myself or a business owner, and I'm deciding where I want to I'm still thinking where do I want to come into real estate? What place in the industry per se.
And by the way, here's the actual degree that Austin's looking to get in college right there. That's the degree, right? Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Madison, what's yours?
Is it bad to say I don't know? I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I've thought about being a teacher or something along that, or potentially staying within Club Wealth for the long while and progressing in the marketing area. Wow, Dad, thanks for making those faces. Yeah, I don't know what the future holds for me. I'm gonna go to college, gonna do something, and see where life leads me, I guess.
And Madison, you're how old?
I'm 17.
17, and you're a rising senior or junior?
I'm a senior this year.
Senior, okay. Senior coming up.
Is this the degree you're looking to get at college there, Madison?
Madison's like, no.
Amber's shaking her head. She's like, this guy's a mess.
Oh, gosh. No. Oh, boy. Grace, what about you?
I know I want to go to college. I don't know which one. And it's either going to the real estate business or I'm thinking about maybe being a surgeon, specifically a neurosurgeon. But
yeah, because that's not crazy complicated at all.
No, it's really
that's
easy.
Awesome. Holy cow.
Awesome.
So,
Amber.
so she could be operating on your brain someday, kids. That's awesome.
Sure can.
I trust her.
I'll be honest with you. Grace goes through, I think of all the young people I know, I think Grace is definitely one that could accomplish that if she chooses to. I just can't imagine going to that much school. Oh my gosh.
Amber, what about you?
So I actually just graduated high school this past June.
Woohoo! Class of 2018.
Wait a minute. At 17.
Yes.
Skip the grade,
Nice. Girls rule. Keep going.
Actually going to community college. So I actually started last semester at community college. And I just want to take classes that will benefit me. I definitely want to go into real estate, and I definitely want to help grow our family business as much as possible. I'm all for it. I definitely want to be a part of it. So I'm going to do what it takes to get there.
When did you say you started, Amber? How old were you when you started helping out mom and dad?
About 12 when I actually started working, but of course I went with them everywhere when I was young too. So I always got the feel of real estate and I always loved it.
Gotcha. So, Austin, you're looking at expansion teams and staying in the business, whichever way it's going to be, you're going to be an entrepreneur. These things that you're learning right now, that you're sitting on here with this shirt and this tie, that you're paying attention to these details, that you're doing all this is what helps you. So your foundation is being laid right now for you. Madison, you want to be a teacher. You're already such a caring, loving person. I would love for you to teach my kids. That's what you decided to do, or if you decided to stay within Club Wealth. So everything that you're doing, teachers' lives can sometimes be a little bit all over the place, especially if you want to do the younger kids, because you only have two hands. That's it. There's a lot of kids that are moving around, but right now, think about it. Right now, you're juggling so many different things right now that you're already learning how to do that, and how to do that calmly, how to do that and get things done on time when it's still supposed to be done. And your beautiful smile and your nature makes it so that if that is the direction that you want to go in and not be an MRS, right away.
Hold on. Doesn't have to be what she does. I'm just saying that's one of the degrees she needs to get while she's
she'll get that.
I love her. She can be in my house. I just don't want her in my house forever.
But you're already learning that. So being a part of Club Wealth, you're already learning that. Grace, you have already taken and learned and looked at what dad has going on and all this mix up and everything, and you've combined it into a simple detail-oriented step. Those types of details is what surgeons have to have. Surgeons have to, there's 1,000,000% all about the details. And you started doing that when you were 4, learning about real estate, but now that, unofficially you were 4 doing listing appointments, I get it. But now that you're in this position, you've created systems around this. You're very systematic. So whether you decide to go into surgery, yes, it's going to take a long time, but it's still very rewarding. Or if you're going into real estate, both avenues, you're helping people in both ways. You're contributing to society in both ways. You are putting Grace Race stamp in people's lives in both avenues, whichever way it is that you decide to go, especially with Club Wealth Cares also. So either way, you're learning this thing right now. You're learning it right now. And Amber, I mean, my goodness, you're in school. You are, my goodness, girl, I love it. I graduated high school early also, and immediately got going too. So you're already in college. You are already running the business. You know this is what you want to do. This is like fantastic. Like, hats off to your parents who started you at 12, laying this down. You are extremely polished, already ready to go. Like, and I'm not kidding, if you decide to move, Michael, don't talk. If you decide to move, you have a job right now. So what I want you guys to understand is that, and what I want for what I want for you all to understand, and what I want for all the parents that are out there that have kids that you want for your children to get into the business, we can start it off small, and that we can start it off with phone calls. That's what Austin's doing. And Austin, you are our youngest. You're 16 now?
Yes.
Our 16-year-old Eagle Scout. So if we want, that's right. So we start this off, look, we have a 16-year-old, we've got a senior, we've got 2 rising seniors, right? Grace, are you a rising senior also?
No, junior.
You're a junior. Oh, wow. So we've got a 16-year-old, we've got the junior, we've got the senior, and we've got one that just graduated. And this is showing you, for those parents that are listening, and I hope you have your children listening too, because this is showing you the different things that they can do within your business. We always think that, like you said, Michael, they're just going to stuff some envelopes. That's not the case. Let's utilize these young, powerful brains that are there to help us, and they're a part of this family business.
Absolutely. And it's interesting too, because I think oftentimes as parents, we still see our kids as these little kids. And it's hard for us sometimes to kind of step away from that and realize, hey, no. These are powerful people. These are people with intelligence. These are people that are capable beyond measure, people that are capable of doing things that we can't even fathom yet. They're more capable than we are, especially if we can convey all of our knowledge, or as much as possible of what we've learned in life, share that with them, expose them to everything else we can out there, so that now all of a sudden they take all of that and they do become far better than we ever could have imagined ourselves becoming. So I'm really proud of all you guys. Couple of questions I have for you guys. I want to know, what do you think about, like, how do you feel about the whole working with your parents thing? First of all, has that been a benefit to you? Is it a challenge for you? Or if you had it all to do over again, Austin's like, heck no. But really, like, how do you feel about it? And I'm not looking for my kids anyway. I'm not looking for you guys to necessarily say, oh, I love working for my dad, because I really don't, like, that's not it. If it's hard, tell us it's hard. If it's great, tell us it's great. How do you guys feel about working for your folks? All of you.
Amber, let's
go
for you.
Okay. I think working with my family has a lot of great benefits. We always have each other's backs, and we always have so much fun together. And ultimately, we all have the same goal, and we want to build our company, and we want to leave a legacy. So I really love working with my family. There are some challenges, of course. When we work together, of course, we see each other at home, we see each other at work. So sometimes that kind of causes problems. But in the end, we all love and we care about each other, so it just works.
So I wanted to, before the others answer, I want to touch on something you just said, Amber, and I loved it. You said we all want to grow our business, not mom and dad's business, our business. That's huge, because it's not mom and dad's business, is it?
No, it's ours.
Oh. Yeah, and guess what?
She says it's ours.
Without mom and dad pretty soon.
Yeah.
So good for you, Amber. Freaking love that. Awesome. All right, go ahead. The rest of you, how is it working with the folks?
Madison.
Oh, okay. I really enjoy it. I mean, it's something that I've just grown up doing for the past almost 4 years now. So it's nice just because, like, you get to see your family and you're kind of comfortable with them, but then it's also bad because there's also that line where it's kind of blurred, where you're like having family time and you're like, my dad decides, Madison, I need you to do something for the business. I'm like, Dad, we're not at business right now. We need to, like, separate that line. So, I mean, there's difficulty in that, but
there's a line?
Yeah.
You see that thing on the back of your wall, Dad, that says no success in the world?
Oh! Austin, school him. them.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What's
The
that?
teacher becomes the student.
Yeah. All right. So,
All right, Grace.
Grace, what about you?
To be honest, there aren't really any pros or cons. I mean, I don't really see my dad in the office too much. Not because he's not in the office, just because he has like his own little room, you know? And for the most part, I mean, I kind of grew up and he worked from home. So it's the same, I would say.
So here's what I want to know. What are you guys doing to revolutionize the companies you work for? What is it that you're going to do to take those companies to the next level?
You want me to start?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. So one of the things I recently came up with was in our Facebook group, the Club Wealth Facebook group, a way to get leads coming into us that are warm rather than just cold calling leads and attracting. I want to attract business rather than chase it. So what we're doing is
That's my kid.
in our Facebook group, we have these questions like, are you a real estate agent? Are you going to abide to our rules per se in the group? And then I said, and then my dad worded it. I don't know the exact wording, but it was, would you like to chat with someone via strategy session to get a strategy session about your business? So now I started that this week, and I believe we've had 20 people leave their numbers so I can call them and get these. Yeah, just in a week or so.
Dude, so let me say this. Was I slow to take action on this?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin came up with this idea, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago? No, 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
3 weeks ago, he comes to me with this idea and he says, hey, Dad, we got to do this. It's going to be great for the business, yada, yada, yada. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of respect for Austin, for both our kids and for all of you on the call. I didn't, it wasn't that I was discounting his intelligence a little, because I really believe he's a smart kid and he's really got, this kid, if he was running Club Wealth today, he'd probably do better things with it than I am. But he came up with this idea and I'm like, oh my gosh, it sounds like a great idea, but yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. Every freaking day since that day, he's been hounding me about this. Dad, did you get this done yet? He'll send me a message. Dad, don't forget to put the question in Facebook. Dad, constantly hounding me about this. And I'm getting a little annoyed with it, right? At some point, you're ready to just ground the kid, right? I mean, seriously. But finally, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what? You're right. I need to get it done. I'll get it done. So I finally get it done. Literally, so I changed this one question. Literally not 5 minutes goes by and I've got 4 inbound leads from changing that one question. So essentially in the last 5 days, we've gotten literally 20 strategy sessions. That's a big number. 20 strategy sessions we wouldn't have had otherwise. So by himself, Austin has nearly doubled, because we do about 140 strategy sessions a month. So by himself, he has nearly added nearly 50% more strategy sessions to our pipeline per month than we had before, with one idea from a 16-year-old. You guys, that's huge. So super impressed with that. Great stuff, Austin. All right. The other guys. So ladies, what are you going to do to revolutionize your companies?
You want me to go?
Anybody. Yeah.
Revolutionize is a really big word, but I would say it starts with the little stuff to me, because by implementing more organization, then things start running smoother, and then we have more listings coming in, and we can get, I guess, the signs out and the flyers out faster, and then we can sell them faster, which gives the listing agents more time to go to listing appointments instead of worry about who's buying the house. So little things like that, that's kind of what I'm working on.
Yeah, because that only took me 15 years in the business to figure out.
I'm only paying for we're only hiring coaches in order for us to learn how to do that. And we've got oh God.
I love it. That's awesome. All right, Amber or Madison. Madison, you look like you're ready to say something. Go ahead, you're next.
What? I don't know.
If you scratch your eye, it's like an auction, right? If you scratch your eye, we're calling on you.
I just play with my hair all the time. It's fine. I don't know. I feel like there's stuff that I could bring to Club Wealth that I haven't like voiced before. So maybe just like voicing them and like getting ideas, because everyone's a part of the team, and being able to all incorporate our ideas. And with the new office that we're building, I'm really excited for, because it's going to allow everyone to like feel more comfortable in the office and be able to feel comfortable sharing ideas. So yeah, I'm excited for when the office.
So what she's in
It is a little bit just because that.
Go ahead, Madison.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, it's a little weird working from home, just because like that separation line is getting thinner the more like we're in the house working, because the office is just upstairs. You don't need to go drive to the office or whatever.
So what she's saying, aka Hellickson, is be ready, because she's got
I'm ready. I'm all ears. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what, Madison? You've got access to my calendar. Go ahead and schedule a time, and we will sit down and we'll go over all of your ideas at any point. In fact, better yet, if you want, just go over it with Aubrey, and you guys can just implement it. I trust you. Do what you got to do.
Oh, brother. Just kidding.
Amber, what about you?
So right now, I'm trying to get us involved in schools. So maybe to offer scholarships or, anything that we can get involved with schools. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Are you guys doing internships by chance? Are you looking at that?
We are, but right now it's not too far into it, but we're working on it.
Love it.
So parents, what I want you to hear is that we've got our leaders, our future leaders here that have ways to, Grace, make your systems run better so that your agents are getting to commissions checks faster, so that everything runs more efficient. We've got Austin having a way in order for you guys to be first when it comes down to bringing in the business. You're reaching those people first. All their things are being filled out, where you're probably spending thousands and thousands of dollars for someone else in a different system to do this. But we've got a 16-year-old brain that sees it and knows how to implement it for you just like that. And then we have another one who has a brokerage, whose parents have a brokerage that's there, that wants to go out and figure out a way to get more agents to come in. And all of this is right there. It's all right there. We have to trust that their innovative ways that they see and how they see the world can actually help our business. Don't be like Michael and have Austin have to go after you for 2 months. 2 months for him to listen. Just listen. That's all he wanted you to do for 2 months. But look what happened when he did finally trust in his son and what he's seeing to help the business. Look at what's happened. Look at the return that he's got that's there. And like Amber said, this is our business. It's the family business. It's the legacy that's there. These young leaders see things that we don't see. We get so bogged down with all of our day-to-day things. They see ways to bring us more business, aka money.
They're not everyone. Absolutely. They're completely, we want to talk about out of the box. That's a great way to get out of the box. Here's what I would encourage for a couple of things. First of all, for those of you watching, and I know that all of the people that are our panelists today, all of you know that coming up next year in the last week of April at our Listing Agent Bootcamp event, we will also have our very first Youth in Leadership event, which each of you will have a major hand in planning and executing. So I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with. You guys will have a decent sized budget to work with, and you'll be able to do a lot of cool things. And so I'm really excited about that. But what I would encourage not only you guys to do, but also everybody watching, all the young people watching right now, I want to encourage you to do a couple of things. One, as you step into working with your folks or wherever you're working, whatever company you're working at, I would encourage you to do a couple of things. Number one, understand you have far greater value than whatever position you were originally hired for. You have far greater potential than whatever position you were originally hired for. So I want you to start thinking beyond that position. I want you to think about, first of all, how can I be the best? How can I be amazing at this role? How can I learn this job inside and out, be wicked awesome at it, and then use that to help me be great at other things? And then look at the overall business and think to yourself, okay, how can I save the company money? How can I help the company bring in more business? How can I help our team have greater and a better culture, a more fun culture, or whatever your culture is? You know, maybe a stronger work ethic, or whatever it is that your culture needs. How can you help with that? How can you play an active role in that? Then think about how can the company be more efficient, right? Whether it's in the role that you're in or other roles, as you're seeing things going on, take a moment, step back and look around and say, what are we doing that we probably shouldn't be doing? And what could we be doing that we're not doing that could make things even better? And then don't be afraid to open your mouth. Have the conversation. Be actively engaged in making your environment, your company, your team better than it was before you got there. Have a long-lasting impact on that business for as long as you're there and well beyond. And because here's the thing, you guys have so much knowledge and you see things from such a great different angle than people that have been in that business for a very long time, that you bring massive value that they can't get anywhere else. So you need to understand that, and you need to give yourself credit for that, and don't be afraid to vocalize it.
And one thing, when it's time for you to vocalize that, I want you to schedule an appointment. I want for you to set an appointment with mom, with dad, with whomever it is that you should be setting that appointment with. I want you to set the appointment. I want you to have it prepared. And then I want you to present it. I want for you to present it to them. Okay. So don't just fire off an idea where we're sitting over the dinner table. No, look at the calendar, schedule some time, make sure that you show up, make sure you have everything written down for that when you go there. Okay. So don't forget that step.
And, here, don't be afraid to say, look, if you feel like you've mastered what you're doing and you're not being challenged enough, don't be afraid to bring that up. And here's the thing. If you want to move further, I'm thinking, Amber, you're the one that's coming to my mind right now. How many freaking kids on this planet at 17 years old are running an entire property management company? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, Amber, let me ask you this. Did mom encourage you to do that, or did you go to mom and say, I can do a better job of this? Why don't you just let me handle it?
Yes, I went to her because she was struggling with it, and she has a lot of jobs, and I wanted to do it, and I always want to learn more, and I always want to do what I can to help. So I asked if I could learn, and she said, yeah, of course you can learn. Do you really want to do it? If you don't want to do it, let me know. I'm like, no, I want to do it. I do.
I freaking love it. So Amber, I'm going to ask you right here in front of everybody, and don't worry, we're going to boost this post, and we're going to make sure we get about 10,000 views on it. So don't worry, everybody on the planet is going to be seeing and hearing this. So I'm not trying to put any pressure on you whatsoever, but would you be willing to write a 45-minute presentation for the Youth and Leadership event and present to us exactly how you've become successful and how you feel other youth can do the same?
Yeah, I could do
this. Boom. All right, we just booked our first speaker. I'm stoked. I love it. Okay, so here's the next thing I want to talk to you guys about. We've only got 8 minutes left, and here's what I want you to share with us. And by the way, shout out to Luigi Caprio, Mike Bjorkman, Long Don. I see you guys are all watching, and I see you guys are talking about your kids working with you as well. Super exciting. Ladies in Austin, I'd like to know, who are the people you have looked up to? Who do you follow? What podcasts do you listen to? What inspires you? Tell us that. Each of you gets a maximum of 2 minutes to walk us through this, and just anybody starts.
Am I going first?
Sure.
Anybody.
Sounds like
Okay.
it.
I like listening to a lot of church podcasts just about bettering your life, because I feel something that I've taken to heart is when you better your life, you're better when you're working, you're better progressing, because you're not having to worry about things in your life. You're being more focused at work and being able to progress there. And then it's going to sound really cheesy, but sometimes when, even if I'm not if I have no task, I finish a task for the day, I'll just start watching some of the Club Wealth videos and try to get inspiration from that and figure out something that I can do. So yeah, I listen to my dad when I need stuff. So.
Sorry.
Okay. Is that
Austin's quit buttering him up.
Daddy, do you really do that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, I think she's just doing it because she wants to listen to Sheree and Brian. I think that's really funny. But that's awesome.
I mean, I love Sheree Sherry's like my idol, so.
Aww.
I got news for you. Sherry's my idol too.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Okay, ladies, what else? What are you guys listening to, and what are you doing to get your mind in the right spot?
I listen to my mom, and I listen to Club Wealth videos also. So I always listen to those. I really like to listen because they definitely do inspire me, and I always want to do better every time I listen. And every time I go to the events, I just want to do better. So I love listening to those. And my mom, because she does coaching all the time, I listen to her and I listen to the calls. So I take what I learned from that and from the advice she gives me. I ask her questions all the time. So I really look up to my mom.
Your mom's a freaking rock star. She really is. I look up to her too. I love Sarah. And by the way, I love that when you're at the events, you're not just hanging out. You're working. Like, you come to the events, you volunteer, you help out, you're efficient. You really make it easier for those events to happen. You help people at those events. People love what you do. And I am grateful for it personally. So thank you for everything you do there. Okay, Grace.
I don't really listen to podcasts only because my car has no AC right now, so I have to drive with the windows down.
I love it. Sorry.
First of all, I love that you're driving a car that doesn't have AC in Kansas City. I think that right there is
so bad.
Real in our family. That's great. I like that.
I do read books, though. I read The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, which you recommended, and then I'm wanting to read Outliers next. But mostly, I just listen to my parents and kind of watch what they do. I don't know, this is kind of cheesy, but I think they inspire me a lot, mostly because of their upbringings, and they weren't, I guess, raised in like traditional homes or didn't really have traditional upbringing. So just watching them like overcome everything that's happened in their life and still be, successful enough to have this home and
they're both wildly successful, right? I mean, in different careers. They're both they're very powerful in both their careers. So good for you. That's awesome. Austin?
So I listen, if you guys know him, Caleb Maddox. He is on, I follow him around, see that stuff that he's doing. I'm actually working on trying to get him to come out to LABC. So just to see if he'll come speak to the youth. And then also I read books at night, even though you probably don't believe me. I read books.
Well, I know your sister reads books. I wasn't sure if you knew how to read or not. So,
but yeah, I read the one that Doug Holliday recommended to us that he gave out last event. It's the 4 Laws of Financial Prosperity. Just finished that about a week ago, which is a really good book if you guys are interested in that. And then there's also I'm almost done with The Mormon Way of Doing Business for the second time.
That's a great book. Whether you're Mormon or not, that's a great book.
Right.
You're talking about the guy that ran Harvard, the
Harvard Business School, Dell, JetBlue, and just another
Bain Capital. You're talking about Mitt Romney. He's got some stuff in that book.
Correct.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, a lot of big guys talking and teaching you the fundamentals of how to leverage your life and your business and still being able to have time with your family. And then I'm starting to read that book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, after. That's probably my next read. And then I'm probably just going to keep going from there and start reading more entrepreneurship type books in that.
So now let me ask you this real quick, and I want to hear other books that you guys are all reading. Amber, go ahead.
I also wanted to say, I want to thank my dad also, because I actually look up to him a lot, because he also teaches kind of like how to keep a positive energy too. So I think that if people did the things that he does, every day he does easy sales coming my way, this type of easy sale, meditating all the time. So that's also a really good thing. And a lot of people, don't do it, but they definitely should.
See, here's what people don't realize about your dad, because he's very quiet, he's very reserved around, in more public scenarios. I'm sure he's different at home. But I got to tell you, what people don't realize about your dad is he's a freaking baller. That guy, he really is. He's smart. He's a closer. That guy, he's a baller. There's no other way to put it.
And he goes above and beyond for his clients.
Oh, he cares.
We've sent referrals this way. Giovanni goes above and beyond for his clients.
He really does. And here's the reality: when you have two high-powered people like Sarah and Giovanni, and they're married. And dude, let me tell you, having that marriage last like theirs has, and having it be the great marriage that it is, like theirs is, that's not an easy thing. And, you know, it's in today's world, it's really easy for people to jump in and out of relationships and even in and out of marriages. And I got to tell you, shout out to your folks for making that marriage work and for just being such a great family from start to finish. I love those two. All right. So really quick, before we wrap up, I want to ask a couple more books that you guys are reading. Now, Austin and Maddie, I know you guys have both read The Richest Man in Babylon. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Which is that one you would recommend?
World Class.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's right.
Secret World Class and The Richest Man in Babylon. I wouldn't recommend The Richest Man in Babylon as much as The Financial Prosperity.
Okay.
And some of these
why?
Because there's, let's say, for example, the 4 Laws of Financial Prosperity. It's more of a real life situation where this guy, he is in a lot of debt, and it goes along in this scenario where he is explaining how to get out of debt from this teacher that he has that he plays chess with every once in a while, and how she goes over the steps to get out of debt. And then once he removed all that debt, not just to start spending that money for himself, he uses that money to invest into his other real estate, for example, is what she recommends. And she even offered him $2 million of a loan once he gets out of debt and does all these steps, and he doesn't take it in the end. Why? Because he doesn't need it.
Did you just give away the ending?
You gave away the book.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, my bad. But yeah, so it just all these great steps and all that kind of stuff.
Grace, what books are you guys reading?
I really like the like switch that you guys gave us, I think last year. I really enjoyed that book a lot.
That's a good one.
I wanted to read that. I haven't gotten a chance to read that one yet.
Oh, it's good, Maddie. You'll like it. It's about.
I know.
It's kind of like how to win friends and influence people, but it's more tactical. It's written by an ex-FBI profiler, which Maddie, I think, is one
That's why I want to read it.
I bet you would love that. So, Grace, how about you? What's your book that you would recommend no matter what?
I don't know.
Grace is like,
The Bible?
this ACT is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
He's like, all I can think about right now is I should be studying right now.
Lean In was pretty good.
Which one?
Lean In.
Oh, Lean In. Okay.
That was pretty good. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend another one for you guys. This is for all of the youth that are watching today. This is another book that I don't know if my kids have read this or not, but I really would like to see all 4 of you read this book. Cherie, I believe you've read it already. If you haven't, you need to read it too. This is a big deal. It's Robert Kiyosaki's The Cash Flow Quadrant.
Yeah.
The what?
As well.
Yeah, so you've all read Rich Dad, Poor Dad probably, but most people have not read The Cash Flow Quadrant, and I think The Cash Flow Quadrant's a good next book for you guys. Yeah, so my kids, that's I would love it if you'd mean a lot to me if you guys would read that. It's The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, and for those of you that haven't already read Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's also something everybody should read. So anyway, that being said, we're looking at time. So Madison, go ahead real quick.
Oh, I was going to recommend a book to like the youth as well. I can't remember what it's called, but it basically like was a group of teenagers, and they went and they were like trying to find their first job, and they like explored like how the different areas that they wanted to look for in a job, and it was kind of like how you can build your business to attract the rock stars of the new upcoming age. That was the premise of the book. I can't remember what it's called. You had me read.
Find that out. I got to know about that one now. So we'll have to post that.
Madison, find out and make sure you put it in your tag it in there.
Dad was the one that recommended it to me, so.
I recommended that one to you?
Yeah, you got it from someone, and you're like, here, read this. I'll read it after you. So. I read it.
Okay, that was too transparent. Now everybody knows I make you guys read stuff before I do. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Read this and then give me a book report, please.
I wasn't going to say it on air, but you know what? Now that you mention it on the Cash Flow Quadrant, I'll expect a book report. I'll give you guys 2 weeks. So we'll do 200 word book report, 2 weeks. Go ahead, Cherie.
No, I was just saying we've got to wrap up, but what I want to do is before we go through for my final thought, because I know that Michael always likes to call us for final thoughts. For my final thought, I want to make sure that I thank Michael and Tara, Tim, Giovanni, and Sarah. You guys have these 4 amazing people on this who are our future leaders. all of you that are on here, I want you to understand that when I see you, you guys make my heart just smile. I love that you are in your family's business. You're bringing so many different ideas to it. You are helping push this business along and even higher than where it currently was. So shout out to all 4 of you guys, especially your parents who have entrusted their business. And some of this is their livelihood. This is how they feed you all. So shout out to them for entrusting that into you. That's doing nothing but helping you grow. I love that you guys are contributors to our society. You all 4 of you are beautiful, beautiful humans. I love you guys. And I cannot wait to see you in November, because I know I'll see you all then. And then also in April, my children will be there. My 12-year-old will be there. So I'm going to make sure, Austin, you get my 12-year-old, okay? So my 12-year-old will be there. And I want to make sure that you guys pour every bit of what you've learned into them, okay?
I gotta tell you, I love that, you did when you said that, when you said, I'm sure I'll see you guys in November, you know what just dawned on me? These kids invest their time, effort, energy, and sometimes money as well in their education, and specifically their non-traditional education. And we see these kids at these events all the time, and you don't just see them sitting in the corner by themselves. You see them engaging with people and learning from people and networking with people. Oh my gosh, it cracks me up that you've got people out there in this industry that themselves don't come to the events sometimes. And then there's others that do come to the events and forget that, hey, wait a minute, if I've got a kid that's on the mature side, right? They're smart, they're not going to be a problem with the event, and they're gonna learn something from it. They're bringing their kids. Oh my gosh, you guys, what a great opportunity. And that's why I cannot wait. We'll have some stuff where you guys will be able to organize, listen to the Youth and Leadership event in November at Business Strategy Mastermind Conference, which I just posted in the feed, by the way. But at the event in April, when you guys are literally leading this entire part of the event, this whole Youth and Leadership section of the event, dude, it's your event. I'm going to support you. Cherie's going to support you. Brian, we got a lot of people. Doug Holliday's going to be very involved. We got a lot of people wanting to help out with this. And by the way, if you're watching this right now and you want to help out with that Youth and Leadership event, post something in the comments so that we know that you want to help us out with that. But I'm stoked. Honestly, I think that's going to be the best part of any event we've probably ever done. I'm very excited about it. So thank you guys for being here with us today. Thank you for taking the time. And listen, I'm going to wrap this up the way I always do, and that is, but it may be a little bit different, because I want you all to know, and you guys especially, inside each one of you, there's this world-class beast just dying to get out. You got to choose to unleash that beast, right? You got to choose that, hey, look, inside me, there's this thing that needs to be brought out. And I'm doing the world a favor by allowing that beast to come out and by being world class. It doesn't do any good for me to play small. I can't remember the exact quote, but you've all heard it before. Playing small does not serve you or the world. When you play big, when you unleash that world class beast, you subconsciously give other people permission to do the same, and you make the world a better place. So go make the world a better place. Thanks, you guys, for being here. I can't wait to have you on again soon.